What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another match reaction. Welcome back to what was a pointless game, but in the end, it was actually a funny game. That's what you need to take away from that game. It was meaningless, especially for us. You won the Coppa Italia. You sacked your manager. You bring in Montero just for because you need to have a coach, I guess. I don't know. Like for us, it meant absolutely nothing. For Bologna, it was a night of celebration. Champions League football for the first time in, was it 45, 48 years or something, and they play like it was a celebration. Missing so many players, they they smoked us up to what was it, the 75 minute, when they start making some changes. They brought on Salamakers, but it was just more relaxed. It was 3-0. It was kind of over, and that's when the game kind of flipped. But we got absolutely smoked for 75 minutes. We got away with a lot. Should have been worse than 3-0. But that was like the game in itself. Like, there were some shit performances as expected. There were some good performances maybe towards the end. But overall, eh, yeah, like player wise, the same players were poor, the same players were invisible, the same players were hot and cold. Like, that's not going to change, obviously. It was just a vibes game. It was only frustrated in the end, at the beginning, where it was like you can see what a coach can do. Even when you was missing four starters in that first half, took out Salamakers, Zirkzee, Orsolini, Ferguson not playing, and they just play the same way. The pressing, everything they need to do was spot on, and it was beautiful to see. Then you look at us, we had absolutely no clue how to deal with the press. We had absolutely no clue how to play. And it was just like, yeah. Just watching the game because we watch the game, we watch all the games, and that's about it. There's pointless to talk about all Montero this. Like, it's the end of the season. It's just vibes, and I think even when it was 3-0 up and Bologna started making errors, because I think even they were like, it's 3-0. We have been absolutely cruising for 75 minutes. Like, we have done absolutely nothing. Like, I don't think we had a good shot on target. Like, we had absolutely nothing for 75 minutes. We were losing possession consistently. We were just nowhere. And I think even Bologna were getting bored, and that's why they were making mistakes towards the end. Chiesa punishes them. Milik with a good free kick. Then Yildiz, and then close to winning it at the end. It was just a vibes type of game, But again, it's pointless. The only thing you need to take away from that game is actually, if Mota is the next coach, that was impressive. Not the last 15 minutes, but again, that's like, it's the end of the season. It's just, they smoked us for 75 minutes. They absolutely smoked us, and then, like I said, if that was a meaningful game, they don't lose their heads toward the end. They don't. But if this was a meaningful game, we'd have also been smoked, because that's who we are right now. We cannot deal with the press. We can just do absolutely nothing. So it's just the end of the season vibes. It's just waiting for the Monza game on Saturday. Apparently got moved to Saturday at 6 o'clock my time instead of Sunday at 3 o'clock. That's just it. The good news is, for me, is that Alexander cannot break that record of Nefa, because that would be absolutely ridiculous as he could. I'm sorry. Nothing against him as a person, but as a footballer, you should not be anywhere near that record. Shouldn't. That's sad. The other positive is obviously Fagioli is back in the team. He looked on point. Missed a lot of football, not due injury, but like match rhythm. But he looked on point. He can play. Obviously, Yildiz, yeah, he's just a good player. Like, it's as simple as that. Next season, he needs to be featured in that team somehow, some way. Because the quality he has, obviously, certain players in this team do not have. His first touch, his vision, shooting. Like, he's just an excellent player. So that was a lightning point. Lightning point. Yeah. Calafiori. If you want Calafiori, ridiculously good. Quality on the ball is impressive with Calafiori. It's actually is impressive. Maybe some might say it's worrying that we talk about his on the ball ability rather than defensively. I thought defensively he's also solid, but on the ball, like he's talented. The way he steps up on the in the pitch, um, can play out from the back, can dribble in, can send that long ball, can finish, like a striker basically. It's impressive to see. It is impressive to see, and it should be a main target, not to replace Bremer because that wouldn't be not good enough in terms of you're just gonna take one step forward and take a step back. That's not what we need to do. But that was impressive what he showed out there. I cannot lie. And that's about it. Maybe a bit happy for Montero that he didn't lose the game. Especially in that way. For some reason, again, there was no pride, and I can get it a little bit because. Like I said, you won the Coppa Italia. It's two meaningless games. It's like what I cannot find like I think I would struggle to actually get motivated, but to be 3-0 down at halftime, that's ridiculous. Like no matter what the situation is and what point of the season we are, that was ridiculous. And if it wasn't for Bologna making that mistake, making a few mistakes towards the end, we probably would have done absolutely nothing as well. But yeah, man, it's just moving to next week. Wrap this week up basically, and then move forward, build for a new team, which we need new players, new coaching. Obviously, it's gonna take a while. It's not gonna be if one season fix. I think that's also very obvious. I think everybody kind of accepted that at this moment in time. But there are some good players still out there in that team. I will not put that up for debate, nor would I put up for debate that we don't have really poor players as well. But yeah, nothing else to add anymore, basically. Nothing to actually be mad of. It was just get it over with, Monza. And we take not a quick break, but I think there will be a break. Maybe the next coach will be announced, and then there will be a break of more of contract renewal talks before actually any signings, especially with the Euros coming up. So I think that will be good for fans just to sit back and breathe. Europa League final this week, Conference League and Champions League next week. I think that's something we can look forward to as a fan, watching football without complete stress, any stress, and then just keep it moving, I guess. But yeah, that's it. Bologna 3, Juve 3. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like the video, as always. Subscribe to the channel. I will be back live tomorrow for sure. And yeah, man. See ya. See ya tomorrow.